everyone, it's me. My name is Alanna and I'm a Canadian, but I have been living here in the UK for the last 8 years. I know! When I first moved to the UK, there was so many things that were surprising. Pants are trousers. Tea is actually good. Roundabouts, terrifying. But I didn't expect there to be so many differences in my own home, my own British home, but in particular, the kitchen. I feel like there's so many weird things in British kitchens. So without further ado, let's go. Scales. We have a couple. When I first moved to the UK, I used to complain. Yes, I know. If you've been with me since then, God bless you. I used to complain that kitchen scales were annoying because in North America, we use cups. And that's all I've ever known. So when I came here and all of the recipes used scales, used weight measurements, it was really frustrating and annoying because it's just not what I had ever done or even thought about doing. But 8 years later, I can say, yes, I was wrong. Scales are so much more efficient, effective, superior. They're better. And I can accept that. I can accept and admit that I was wrong. I do still have some cups, measuring cups. My friend actually bought these for me as like a little reminder of home, but I so infrequently use them because really everything is better with scales. It's funny how in North America, everything is cups. Everything is measuring cups, 2 cups, a quarter cup, tablespoons, teaspoons, a quarter teaspoon. Like that's just how it is. It's what your grandma did. It's what your mom did. It's now what you do. It's like generational trauma, but for measuring stuff. But scales are better. I will say that. Scales are better. Any Americans watching, all 5 of you, hi, how's it going? Do you know what these are? Can you guess? They're a little bit dirty, so go ahead and just ignore that. These are Yorkshire pudding trays. And before I moved here, I did not know what this was. In my humble opinion, I think the Yorkshire pudding is one of the most important and or best items of a Sunday roast. Leave a comment down below. What's the best item of a Sunday roast? Yorkshire puddings, right? And obviously a Sunday roast is extremely popular and common here in England, but it's not in Canada or the US. It just isn't. I will say though, story time. When I was a kid, we would go visit my grandma and grandpa on the one side. And grandma would cook us a meal. It was always super good. And it typically was some sort of like roast beef, mashed potatoes, veg, gravy, and Yorkshire puddings. And that was the only place I had ever had Yorkshire puddings. It was at grandma's house and she would make them. It's not something that I would see on a menu, like at a restaurant, or we didn't have Sunday roast. This was like a special meal that grandma would make. And it wasn't until I moved here and I was exposed to the Sunday roast that I realized that my grandma was making us a Sunday roast. It would have been something that her mom from the UK would have taught her and then she was giving to us and I had no idea. But I had never actually seen her make the Yorkshires before. I'd never seen these tins until I moved here. So I bought my own tins for a YouTube video. Most of the stuff I buy are for YouTube videos. If you watch that one, God, that was probably 3.5 years ago. It was at the old flat in the old kitchen. I made my very own Yorkshire puddings for the first time. I love them. It's now part of our tradition. So every Christmas, my partner is a really good cook, so he does like kind of everything else. And my responsibility are the Yorkshire puddings. I just love them. I just love them. Have I told you that I love them? Hello, welcome to this side of the kitchen. I would like to talk about an electric kettle. Bear with me. Now, yes, technically, I did know what an electric kettle was. I didn't grow up under a rock, but this is something that's very different. So just give me a second, let me explain. While you are watching this video, have a think in your flat, house, mansion. How wonderful. What appliances are currently on your countertop? The ones that you leave out. So maybe that's a toaster. Maybe that's a microwave. Maybe that's, you know, you get the little pots with like your spatulas and your flippers and stuff in it. That's not an appliance. Forget I said that. But I bet 99% of you have an electric kettle on your counter and you use it pretty often. I'm gonna go out on a limb and say pretty often. That was not my reality growing up in Canada. My mom had a really scary old kettle that we stored in the basement because we would only use it maybe once a year if you wanted to make like jello. What do you call that here? Like jelly, you know, like the dessert, like the gelatin dessert, and you like use boiling water in the little packet. And maybe we would do that literally once a year for some dessert thing. And that was it. The kettle lived in the basement and it was often forgotten about because nobody used it and nobody needed it. Now that I live in England, this is our kettle. He's a good lad. He is boiled sometimes twice a day, 3 times a day. My partner and I both have pour over coffee in the morning, so we boil the kettle. Maybe you have a tea, in the wintertime, or maybe like a sleepy time tea before bed. We use this all the time now, and it is a staple in my English kitchen. And I would literally die without it. And also, one last point about electric kettles. I did an experiment last time I was in Canada. I bought my mom a newer kettle because we were gonna use it when I would go visit. It's a long story. I bought my mom a kettle, a nice, good electric kettle, right? It should last a long time. We boiled a liter of water and I wanna say it took 6 minutes to boil back in Canada. So imagine waiting 6 minutes for this kettle to boil. Here, good old kettle. This for a liter takes, I think, just over 2 minutes. Incredible, but kind of off topic. And with an electric kettle, of course, you have to have abundance of mugs. Plain mugs, big mugs, funny mugs, tons of them, a variety. And honestly, it is so hard not to buy mugs every time I see them. I want a collection. I know it's not needed. I don't have the space for it, but I see a nice mug and I just can't help myself. I did used to have the infamous Sports Direct mug, you know, the one that fits like 6 liters, but I dropped it and I was absolutely devastated. But this is part. This is part of my mug assortment collection. A new recent favorite, shout out to Jamie who sent this to my P.O. box. I did a video about Bullseye. If you haven't watched it, go check it out. And this is a heat changing mug. When the picture shows up when it gets hot, I absolutely love it. Who doesn't love a bit of bully? Washing machine. I haven't tidied up yet, just ignore the mess. Yes, I have seen washing machines in North America. Surprise. Shocking, I know. But I've never seen it in the kitchen. That is very British. Can we say broadly European? It's not something you see in North America. Back home in Canada, I lived in a variety of different homes. I also lived in my own flat, my own apartment, and I lived in a house in college, so like a student house. And every property had a laundry room. So typically it's in the basement because you kind of want it out of the way, but it would be a room for your washing machine, your dryer, maybe a space to hang stuff up that can't go in the dryer, just a laundry room. But of course, where homes are a lot smaller here than what I'm used to back in Canada, where do you put the washing machine? In the kitchen, of course. So ours lives right here. It's exciting, isn't it? When it gets near the end of the cycle, my God, does this thing make a noise. And I don't own a dryer. We used to have, in the old property, we had the 2-in-1. So it was like a washing machine and then it could also do a dryer function. But the dryer function sucked and it was always like still quite wet afterwards. And it would run for so long that you end up having to hang it up anyway. So this one's just a washing machine on its own. And then we have a drying rack thing in the kitchen, which is fun. So you have people over, you're having a nice dinner party, and there's a bunch of drying laundry in the corner. You gotta make do with the space that you have. But having this in the kitchen was very surprising and unusual to me. It's very weird. While we're over here, if we just scoop a little bit closer. Hi, you doing all right? If you're enjoying this video and you want to support me directly while getting exclusive content, please consider joining me on YouTube memberships. There should be a join button on this page. I post a full-length video there every week. Anyway, today we're talking about butter. Let me get this out of the way. Okay, so just pretend this doesn't exist. This is what I would like to talk about. A butter dish. I never had a butter dish growing up in Canada. Maybe you did. I don't know. Maybe it was just us. We were very much a margarine family, and I do have some Flora Light, I want to say, in the fridge. You know, time and place, right? But there is something about having actual butter, cooking with actual butter. Absolutely incredible. But I was getting so tired of these and like sticky and it just sticks out and yuck. So I bought a butter dish because I'm a thriving young woman. Anyway, that's all I wanted to say about that. I never had a butter dish until I moved to England. Is that something? I hope so. Welcome to the fridge. We just got a food order and everything is haphazardly shoved in. 2 points with the fridge, to be fair. Number one, I've never had a fridge this size. So this bit is the fridge and this little bit is the freezer. Even in college, I had an American fridge. In my own apartment in Canada, I had an American fridge. I've never had a fridge this small or a freezer this small, which is tough because sometimes you just want to have, you know, some things frozen for when you need them. Do you know what I mean? Essentially the purpose of having a freezer. But this is our fridge. It is small and it is overfilled, but that's fine. I'm gonna eat loads today, so don't you worry. How about, oh, this? As a little treat, we got some pork sausage rolls. M&S do the best ones. If I'm gonna have a sausage roll, which is honestly not often, I want to have a nice one. Do you know what I mean? I want to really enjoy my sausage roll experience. So we get them from M&S on the odd occasion. This is not something that I eat back home. Not something we would ever have. I don't think I ever had a sausage roll in Canada until I moved here. So that is something to include in this video. With that, close this. Welcome to our messy spice drawer. You can't see it. Coleman's mustard. This is something you don't see in North America. I imagine you could get it at like a specialty British shop, perhaps, or have it like imported. It's not something that I'd ever seen or tasted or experienced until I moved here. But let me tell you, together, divine. This is actually another Christmas tradition. Every morning, Christmas Day, we have some sausage rolls, usually the little small ones, you know, like the half. They're like half the size of this. Throw some of those in our air fryer, delicious, but you have them with a little bit of English mustard. Christmas is now complete, but every once in a while we have it as a treat and I love it. Where did I get this from? There's not a lot of strange food in our fridge today. Oh. How about some mango chutney? Indian. Here's another thing. I never ate Indian food until I moved to England. It was not something that was even offered in my hometown. We didn't have an Indian restaurant. Wild, right? Basically all the towns that I've lived in here, other than I lived in a really small village that didn't have anything, they all had Indian restaurants. So some mango chutney with some curry and papadums. It sounds really bad in my accent. Anyway, this has been in the fridge for like a million years. Oh. How long does this last usually? That's the question for another day. What else is British? Oh, can you see this? Nando's. I got the Nando's Peri-Nays lemon and black pepper peri-peri mayo. It was a club card thing at Tesco, I'll be completely honest. And I never had it before. This is really nice. If we ever have like chicken tenders, you know, like chicken goujons, and you do it, dip it in this. It's lovely. And Nando's. How British. Let's do one more thing. How beautiful is that can? After I'm done filming this YouTube video, which I hope you guys like, hope you're having a great time. Thanks for being here. Thanks for supporting me. You keep this channel alive, okay? So God bless you. After I'm done with this, and after I clean up the kitchen, because everything is out now, I'm actually filming a YouTube membership video taste testing all of the new Thatcher's cider flavors. So I got them in the fridge in preparation. The one that I'm most excited about, look at that, is the Thatcher's Blood Orange. I've been eyeing it for months and I was waiting for this video. So I got a whole bunch of Thatcher's ciders to taste test. That video is gonna be on YouTube memberships, in case that is your cup of tea, in case you like those kinds of videos. But I probably should wait until the afternoon. It's 10 o'clock in the morning. So maybe we'll wait. It's kind of wild what is so strange initially and over time becomes so unbelievably natural and second nature. I've lived in the UK for 8 years now. A washing machine in the kitchen no longer surprises me. It's just, it's how it is. It's life. And things like English mustard have become part of my yearly routine, you know, my Christmas tradition. It's just kind of wild how life changes and how things that were weird are no longer weird. Do you know what I mean? I'm having a little bit of an existential crisis. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you're having a wonderful day and you have a wonderful rest of your day. If you want to watch more content, why not check out that Bullseye video? One of my favorite shows, I'll be completely honest. But as always, thank you guys so much for watching, and until next time, bye!